there, guys. Happy New Year. Happy 2019. I feel like I have been waiting for this year to start for my entire life. So my theme of this year, this year for me, what is going to be on my mind and my heart and my daily to-do list is how to be an artist. The first thing that I did here was I asked myself, like, what is being an artist anyway? What is an artist, like, at the most fundamental level? And what I came to is this. To me, being an artist is expressing myself in a way that is 100% authentic and true in the form of a creation. And maybe something that I missed there was, for me, the most important and fulfilling thing about art is actually what happens when you've birthed your creation and the connection, like the life that it takes on after it's out in the world, and the fact that, like, you're connecting on this really, like, visceral and human level with somebody else who also has that experience or has had another one, and your experience, like, you know, sparks some emotion in them, which is so beautiful. As per usual, the planner, the strategist, the structural side of me has broken this out into 3 steps. Step 1, own it. This is obvious, but this has been the most challenging step for me, surprisingly challenging. If you had asked me when I was 7 years old, what are you? I would have said an artist, and I wouldn't have even thought about it. I would have had absolutely no hangups about it. I wouldn't have any sort of, like, imposter syndrome-esque feelings about it. And then somehow, like, all of that got really tangled up within me. So in owning it, the first thing to do is own it within yourself. Tell yourself, I'm an artist, and then see how that resonates. And keep telling yourself, I'm an artist. Every time you create something that you want to tear up, that you think is horrible, that you judge and you absolutely hate, every time you have nothing, like, you want to paint and you've created the space to paint and you have absolutely nothing and you're sitting on the floor with zero inspiration, every time somebody says, I don't like that, you know, or somebody doesn't respond in a way that you want, tell yourself, I'm an artist, and with conviction and absolute confidence, because everybody is. Everybody is an artist. Own it to your people. This was also really strangely challenging. I found it after being like, you know, like a marketing person with, like, a title that everybody knew. When I decided to take the leap and become an artist, of course, I wasn't calling myself an artist at that time. I was more on the illustrator tip, but whatever, same difference. Saying I am an artist and then, like, essentially feeling their fear and their hangups and their reaction and their, like, most people don't really know what to say when you say that. That affected me a lot. That shook my confidence. Their fears and their hangups shook my confidence around being an artist, and that showed up. So I would always say it with a caveat, or like, I'm an artist, but oh, I'm also a creative director and I do branding, or, you know, I still do marketing strategy. And then they're like, oh, okay, okay. Or I've had it where it's like, I'm an artist and they'll be like, oh, how's that working out for you? You know, or I have almost like diffused their sense of discomfort like before it even came up. So I've been like, I'm an artist, you know, and that's bullshit. I'm telling you right now that that is all bullshit. And I have been practicing when I go out, saying with 100% pride and conviction and love for what I do, like, I'm an artist. And expressing my excitement around the fact that, like, I can't even freaking believe that I'm an artist. I'm doing my dream job. And you know what? I'm a damn successful, badass one too. So, say it to your people, you know, and own it and be proud of it. Then finally, own it to the world. Carve out your presence in the world. It doesn't have to be the World Wide Web. It could be, you know, your broader community. If you want to be in galleries, if you're a musician and you want to do, you know, open mics at coffee shops or whatever, but show up, you know, show up, carve out your space as an artist, and make yourself discoverable and share your creations. Because like I said before, it's part of it is about the connection and the fact that like what you create sparks and catalyzes more, you know, and you kind of add to this like collective pool of living ideas and stuff. So don't keep your work in a drawer. Make it known, own it. Step number 2, be it. This is essentially living a life inspired. It is not losing your sense of wonder and curiosity in every moment. It is taking the pause and noticing things just in your ordinary everyday life that you find to be extraordinary. And that's actually my mission as an artist. It's my artist statement. It's make beautiful work that makes people feel extraordinary. And I really look at that as like the extraordinary, you know? Because actually, if you look at things like for their beauty and their uniqueness and their like amazing qualities, everything becomes a little bit extraordinary. I was looking at Instagram and somebody had done a pattern of like all of these kawaii bananas with like little smiles and expressions, and I was just like, man, that's freaking awesome. Okay, like, and what is more ordinary than a banana? You know what I mean? And it's put a frame around it. Put a frame around like every little moment of your life. Easier said than done. When an idea comes up, hanging out with it and inviting it in, you know, and being open and not being like, oh, I am too busy for you, you know, and also not like jumping all over it and feeling like, oh my God, you know, you're gonna escape. Let me capture you. Let me do you. Let me write you down right now, immediately. No, for me, it's like I have so many thoughts. I am very active in my mind all the time. And it's really been like just letting them all hang out together and bounce around and connect. And like, I know that an idea is a keeper and something that I wanna do, that when it just keeps growing and keeps coming back and won't actually leave me alone. And finally, in the be it realm, it is cultivating a comfort in the unknown. And another challenging one, when I quit my job, I realized the thing that I was most uncomfortable with. I and many other people are just uncomfortable with the unknown. I was uncomfortable with the fact that like I didn't actually know what I was going to be creating, like what my style was, like why I was even doing this, where I was going to get money. I didn't know business stuff, like just how to file taxes, insurance, like how to structure things. I didn't know anything. And sometimes you also do not know when inspiration is going to strike. And just because it is not striking when you happen to be standing like poised at your desk with you know, pen or like tool of choice, paintbrush in hand, does not mean that it's never going to strike again. So have comfort in knowing that you're probably processing stuff, and the unknown is actually a beautiful place if you allow it to unfold, if you know what I mean. And so now, number 3, the final step is do it. And I would like to say that I wore this shirt, my yin yang cat shirt, my yin yang kawaii cat shirt, like also known as the best Jess shirt ever, for a reason. And it's because the be it, which would be her, and the do it, which would be him, are like a seamless integration. It's a dance between that, like being an artist and doing art, right? It like really should be ideally seamlessly integrated, and this is the practice. This is definitely the practice that I continually try to cultivate and fail at and try new stuff, and sometimes it works and whatever, but it's basically that ebb and flow state, and knowing how to move between both of them. If you want to paint and you do not know what you're going to paint, sometimes inspiration will strike by just showing up at your desk every day at a designated hour and painting something. It's a practice. Sometimes it's gonna be shit, and sometimes it's gonna be brilliant, and sometimes you just don't know which one's gonna happen, but if you're not doing it, it'll be neither. So it's really kind of about establishing that routine and removing any barriers to creation. So for me, this is having my space set up, having my paper cut, having my tools out, having everything be clean and orderly and inviting. So as you see, like around me, I started this year kind of organizing my studio to where like I'm working on a bunch of botanicals and these kind of things that are gonna be wall coverings. And so putting them up so I can actually see what I'm doing, you know, and it helps. It helps a whole lot in the doing. So I'm not like, so I know where I left off, and like I'm not starting every day like, okay, wait, where are we? And there are piles of paper on the floor and whatever. Some people do like to create in chaos. It's definitely not me. Finish things. You do not have to finish everything, but try to finish most things. Start things that you want to finish, you know? So back into the integrating being and doing, you don't have to start every idea. I mean, if you're like me, I'm an idea person. I'm like a vision girl. So basically I'm the most excited like when I get the idea and like at the idea of starting the idea. And then in the execution, like the excitement level is like, you know? And so I really struggle many times with following through on my idea, especially when it's not like a client deadline. I mean, I don't have issues meeting a deadline. I mean, sometimes I do within me, but I meet them. So yeah, finish things and put them into the world, you know, because the world needs more artists. So I will end on that little epiphanat. And I would love to know what being an artist means to you, and what things that you integrate your life to support that, into your life to support that. And that is 2019 in a nutshell. I am being an artist. So more to follow on that. And I hope that you guys had a splendid new year and a great start to your year. And I am excited to see you again. TTFN.